After remaining unconscious for 2 days, Shivank finally regained consciousness on the 3rd day. Drenched in sweat and with fear and panic on his face, he looked around his room, covered with a blanket of darkness. Looked very scary at this time. Shivank jumped out of the bed and ran out of the room. Shivank, who used to spend most of his time alone in his room, today ran out of his own room as if he had seen a ghost. Shivank came running on the roof of Suryavashin mansion. The sky was covered with dark clouds. Only water was visible in the distance. Taking deep breaths, Shivank lay down on the cold floor of the terrace. Looking at the sky, he softly said a name, "Mother." As soon as these words were said, tears started flowing from Shivank's eyes. At the same time, it started raining again and Shivank closed his eyes. An hour later, a middle-aged man, Randeep, known to everyone in the mansion as Rana, came to the terrace looking for Shivank. All the responsibilities of children's food, school, homework, dressing training were on Rana. Shivank was crying in the rain, but as soon as he heard someone coming, he suddenly sat in a trance state and started chanting the mantra. Seeing Shivank like this, a smile appeared on Rana's face, but soon he hid his smile and said to Shivank seriously, "Shivank, Bade Malik wants to meet you right now." Shivank opened his eyes politely, looked at Rana in long, white kurta pajama standing under a black umbrella and slowly nodded his head. Jerry Suryavashin was sitting on a big chair in the hall of Suryavashin mansion. Bhairav Suryavashin was sitting on a chair similar to his chair but of slightly smaller size on his right side, and Dharam Suryavashin was sitting on the left side. Dharam Suryavashin got the title of Wazir in Suryavashin Haveli. Many more chairs were placed around. On all of them the elders of the Suryavashin family were sitting. All the remaining people stood in a line with their heads bowed like slaves, and in the middle of them were placed 2 dead bodies, one of Shulika and the other of Samish. As soon as Shivank came into the hall, his first sight fell on both the dead bodies. His heart started beating faster. His mind started getting nervous due to the fear of something unexpected, but he did not have the right to express his pain on his face. Showing himself calm, he came and stood in front of Jerry, Bhairav and Dharam with his head bowed and said very politely, "What are your orders for me, government?" Sarkar. Every son who received the will got the title of Sarkar. He was called by this name. On this, Jerry said, "Out of the 2 bodies in front, one is that of the woman who gave birth to you, as has been the tradition of the Suryavashin family. The last wish of every woman who gives birth to a child is fulfilled. It was the wish of the woman who gave birth to you, that you should light her funeral pyre. You have been called to fulfill this task." The dead body of a woman who has given birth. On hearing this, Shivank's body trembled, his eyes filled with tears, but Shivank did not raise his head. He stood before the government like a stone. Taking Jerry's point further, Bhairav said, "Today is a very sad day for the Suryavashin family. Because of this woman, today we have lost one of our heirs, yet we are fulfilling her last wish and paying tribute to her deceased. We will respect the body. This is the tradition of the Suryavashin family." While Bhairav was saying this, Baldev saw that the devil, who had quenched his lust with the dead body of a woman, was talking about giving respect with a mask of humanity on his face. Bhairav also looked at Baldev and gave a teddy smile. Jayorya said, "Shivank, what is your wish? Do you want to give respect to the woman who gave birth to you? Remember, this is the same woman because of whom you lost your own brother. You have to take the decision." Hearing this, Shivank raised his head and looked into Jayorya's eyes. By now he had contained his emotions within himself. Will I have the right to see both the bodies before taking a decision? When Shivank said this, surprise appeared in everyone's eyes. Everyone simultaneously looked at Shivank, then Jerry, and then Bhairav and Dharam. Shivank did not stop at this. He continued with passion in his eyes. It is the tradition of the Suryavashin family. One should carefully examine the situation before taking a decision. I want to see whether the woman who gave birth to me is worthy of respect. If the government orders you, I want to see both the dead bodies once with my own eyes. Everyone was aware of Shivank's sharp mind and his cunningness, but due to his reticence and slow speaking, no one had ever seen him as Varish. But today Shivank was standing with a different enthusiasm and passion. His harsh voice was piercing Bhairav. Shivank's fearless eyes were reminding him of Shulika. Bhairav tightened his fists and said, "You are going against the government's decision." Hearing this, Shivank looked into Bhairav's eyes without any emotion. As soon as Shivank made eye contact, Bhairav felt a strange trembling in his heart. Shivank said, "Chot Sarkar, this is my request. If you do not consider me capable of this, then you should take the decision yourself. Because I cannot take any decision by breaking the tradition of the Suryavashin family." For the first time after inheriting the Suryavashin family, someone had raised questions on Bhairav's answer. That too very calmly and politely. Bhairav gritted his teeth and stopped himself from shouting at Shivank. No one had the right to assert rights over children or discriminate among them. Not even the government. As soon as this happened, the slave would have been allowed to go against the government, and at the same time the government with the rule would have ended. Dharam was the son of Jayoraj's elder brother. He was clever and intelligent, but due to being weak physically, he had become a wazir instead of a king. Today he could see a glimpse of himself in Shivank. While putting forth his point in front of Jayorya, he said, "Government, Shivank's demands are as per the rules. We should fulfill him, should be given a chance." All the elders of the house also agreed with Dharam. Finally Bhairav also said yes. The government gave permission to open both the bodies. Due to her death 2 days ago, Shulika's body had started to smell slightly. Shivank looked closely at his mother's face. He had last seen Shulika 5 years ago. Despite being young, he still remembered the image of his mother and brother in his mind. As soon as he saw Shulika's dead body, Shivank clenched his fists. He wanted to stop himself from crying by any means possible. Shivank knew that he was seeing his mother for the last time, so he wanted to see her to his heart's content. After looking at Shulika for about 5 minutes, Shivank himself came forward and covered Shulika's body. Shivank saw another dead body, which was similar to him, but seeing that dead body he did not feel his identity. Suddenly Shivank's eyes became small. He went closer to the dead body in front of him and caught hold of his opposite hand. No one understood what Shivank was trying to do. But after a while Shivank started laughing, and after a while his face turned black. He came in front of Jerry and said, "Sarkar, I am the last person of this woman. I want to fulfill the wish, but I will not give fire to my twin brother. I request you to give this right to someone else." Jerry respected Shivank's wish. And that evening Shivank offered fire to his mother and Baldev offered fire to Saksha. Looking at his mother's burning pyre, Shivank said to himself, "Mother, I will fulfill your last wish. The family which took me away from you, took me away from my brother, I will bring that family to my feet. I will rule over the legacy of this family. I will become the heir of Suryavashin family. This family will be under me. Every person present here will serve me. Shivank will serve Suryavashin.